Hi Lovebug. If you happen to be new here, my name is Mercy Yvonne. My channel is all about being the intersection between faith and fashion. So we're going to serve the Lord, but we're going to serve a look as well. First order of business, we're going to give this week's shout out to these amazing individuals. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you're watching this and you're wondering how can you get a shout out, you got to talk to me in the comments. You talk to me in the comments, I promise I talk back, and you can always get a shout out in any one of my future videos. So jumping into today's video, we are going to talk fragrances and I think are perfect for this winter season. And so if that is your vibe, go ahead, grab your little snacky snack, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Jumping into it, I just kind of want to give some disclaimers. I don't personally subscribe to the idea that like you only have to wear things in certain seasons, right? So it's not like, oh, this is just a fall winter fragrance or this is just a spring summer fragrance. Like, I don't subscribe to that. I wear what I want to wear when I want to wear it, right? That's me. However, I want to do this video to help kind of give someone maybe some guidance on some really good fragrances that will fit with the season, right? So when you think of a winter fragrance or a fall winter fragrance, you think more of warm, woody, spicy, deep kind of fragrances. This is for the person that may need a little guidance, maybe a little lost, not completely know where to start, and would like some like fragrance recommendations for this time of year. So getting into the fragrance that I am actually wearing today, it is Latte D'or. It's by Le Monde Gourmand. Oh, it is so good. Like it's creamy and like milky. It's very creamy, but it's spicy. So it's literally like, think like a spiced latte. Like it has that like spicy, warm, but it also has that very milk creamy component to it, like a latte. It's very warm. I feel like I kind of pick up on like some cinnamon. I don't know if that's cinnamon, but it's definitely warm. Now I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna give this disclaimer as well. I don't think any fragrance is a safe blind buy. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think any fragrance is a safe blind buy, because what I may like you may not, and vice versa, right? So I probably would say that none of these are safe blind buys. And this is a 1.0 fluid ounce. I paid $12.99 from TJ Maxx. All of my Le Monde Gourmand fragrances are from TJ Maxx. As of right now, I have never purchased any from Marshalls. So I would just say keep that in mind. I do believe this line is originally carried at Urban Outfitters, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard people say. I do not have Urban Outfitters in my area, so I've never purchased from there. But I typically get them from TJ Maxx. Like I said, it's a 1.0 fluid ounce. When we're talking longevity, I would say I can get anywhere probably between 6 to 8, maybe even 10 hours. It depends on how much I apply. And if you apply on skin versus clothes, if you are not afraid to apply your fragrances onto clothes, and I would always say be careful of what fragrance you're wearing with certain fabrics. But if you're not afraid, then apply on clothes and help it last longer. So I definitely know that I've smelled this for probably upwards of 8 to 10 hours. I wouldn't say this is a beast mode fragrance, but I really don't feel like I lean into a lot of beast mode fragrances. I don't know if any of these are going to be beast mode fragrances, if I'm being completely honest. I do get compliments on a lot of my fragrances, but I wouldn't say they're extremely like beast mode, take over the room, choke you up kind of fragrances. I don't really lean that way. I lean to a lot of like skin scents. I like to create a personal scent bubble. That's more so what's most important to me. I want to be able to smell me. I do not go nose blind to this, and so I do smell it, and it does last a long time. And even when I like launder my clothes, I can still definitely smell this fragrance, and probably all of these fragrances still on my clothes at the next time. So this is what I'm wearing today. I smell good. I smell like creamy and warm, and I do like that, and I think it's perfect for winter. I would definitely say, you know, of course, find combos and layer, and don't be afraid to put that thing on like Fumi would say, right? So I definitely think Latte D'or, if you can get your nose on it, get your sniffer on it. So keeping on theme, we have another Le Monde Gourmand fragrance, once again from TJ Maxx, $12.99. This is Chai Eclair. This is more sweet. It's a sweet spice. I think kind of like pastry, sweet. I think it leans into that. So you get that chai spiciness, but then you get that eclair kind of like sweetness. And this is, once again, good. I feel like probably anywhere between, I can stretch it to somewhere between 6 to 10 hours. I feel like it has a very similar projection to Latte D'or, and it's a really good fragrance. It definitely surprised me because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this, because I don't really like chai. Like I've tried chai tea lattes and just wasn't really my thing, but I actually like it in fragrance form. It's very good. It has that sweetness to it that's like, oh, okay, I definitely pick it up. And so I would definitely say, if you can get your nose on this, definitely get your sniffer on this. One more in the in the Le Monde Gourmand, once again, $12.99, TJ Maxx. This is Chocolate Hazelnut. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you, this one surprised me. I feel like this one leans the most perfume like, right? Like it smells like a fragrance. It has that like sweetness, but it's like slightly fresh, a little woody, and a little nutty. And I feel like I was kind of nervous because I was like, chocolate, I don't really know. I don't want to smell like a candy bar. Like I don't want to be walking around smelling like a Hershey bar. But I don't really pick up on that much chocolate. I feel like the chocolate kind of gives a little bit of the sweetness more than anything. But it leans very like woody and a bit nutty. I do pick up a little woodiness in here, and a bit of nuttiness. I do think we lean more into kind of like that hazelnut vibe, but it's done very grown woman. Like I don't think that, based upon the name, if you heard the name and smelt the fragrance, that's what you would be expecting, because it definitely was not what I expected. But she's good. Like she is really good. Chocolat Hazelnut, she's good. If you ever nervous about like trying a fragrance based upon the names, or even sometimes based upon the notes, you have to put your sniffer on it. That is why I'm like, I don't really believe in blind buying, because what I like, somebody else may not, and vice versa. And so, and I find that more often with fragrances, that a lot of things that have been like amped up and like, oh, this is my favorite fragrance, I love this so much, once I get my sniffer on it, I don't really care for it. But I think this is very grown woman. And I'm sitting here like, oh, she's so good. Like she gives grown. Like she gives very bold, very confident, very classy, just very chic. Like she is a boss woman. Like Chocolate Hazelnut, I don't know what to tell you. Now, I would definitely say with all of these, the Le Monde Gourmand fragrances, I believe that you can wear them daytime or nighttime. Once again, you don't have to subscribe to any of that it has to be in a certain season or it has to be a certain time of day. But I do tend to wear all of these during the day. So these are fragrances that I'm putting on to go run errands, to go to church, to go to work. Those are typically when I would wear those fragrances. Now we're going to get into Born Dreamer by Charlie D'Amelio. Now, quite frankly, I'm not completely familiar with who she is. I know that, like, I think she had a reality show with her family or something like that. Didn't watch it, don't really know. But this is her fragrance. I got this also from TJ Maxx. This is a 1.7 fluid ounce, and I want to say I paid, I think, 21. I think I paid like $21. But I know that I got her from TJ Maxx. I had previously smelled her at Ulta probably close to a year ago, and I think they wanted this, they were gonna charge this size for like close to $50, and I was like, I like her, but I don't like her that much to pay $50 for her. She gives like sweet and clean, but she's more sweet. Like, I feel like you get more of that sweetness. Like, I can't really recall notes off the top of my head, but she's definitely giving like fruity. I do believe that she leans more fruity. This to me is one that I definitely reach for during the day. I think that she is great. She's very light. I have not worn her on her own, so I can't fully give projection details and like how long she lasts and all that kind of stuff. I can't really give those types of specs right now because I typically layer her. I'm not gonna lie. I do believe that she is good. However, I typically use her to combine when I want to add sweetness to another fragrance. I have not yet wore her on her own. I do enjoy her. But like I said, I've not worn her by herself. There are moments, depending on what I pair her with, where she will shine through, and there are other moments where she might take a back seat. So it kind of just depends. I would definitely say, if you want, go try and see if you can put your nose on it, or go to a Ulta. I've never seen it in Sephora, so I would say go to an Ulta and see if you can get your nose on it and see if you like it. But she is definitely, she's clean and sweet. I think if you like sweet, kind of fruity fragrances, kind of like that real juicy fruit kind of feeling, then I think that you would enjoy her. But of course, go put your sniffer on her and see if you like it. And I think the bottle is fairly cute. I think it's very sleek. And if I did not say, this is a 1.7 fluid ounce. So next up, we have Vanilla Bourbon by Mix Bar. So this is a 1.7 fluid ounce. I get it from Target. Vanilla Bourbon is sweet. It's boozy. It's warm. It's cozy. Like, she is that girl. Now, if I'm being honest, out of all of my Mix Bar fragrances, she's probably number 3. She comes in at number 3. Not because she's bad, because she's really good. There's just ones that I do prefer a little bit more. But if you can see that, then I do wear her and I do enjoy her. She is really that good. She is sweet though. Like, she is a sweet vanilla, but she's warm. So don't think like cake or ice cream. She's very just sweet, like kind of like vanilla bean, but sweet, warm, very cozy. That booziness in the bourbon kind of comes in a little bit after to kind of give it like kind of a kick, but that's about it. She is good. Now, I would definitely say if you want more booziness or spiciness, I would definitely say probably layer her with something else, because she's definitely sweet. And if I'm honest, I do feel like she's macerated a bit, because she's definitely, I feel like she's sweetening up, but she's giving like sweet but still grown woman, because I feel like you get that perfume, that true kind of perfume essence on the back end. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but I do feel like you get that perfume essence that feels like a grown woman. I tend to lean to wear her during the day. I do think she can be worn at night, but I probably would pair her with something and not wear her by herself. But if I'm wearing her by herself, I wear her during the day. There are times where I will pair her with other things to maybe add a woody element or a spicy element, or even tap more into that sweetness. So I would definitely say kind of just get to your nearest Target and kind of see if you can put your nose on her. Now, you definitely have to find a Target that actually sells fragrances. This is, I don't know if I said this, but this is the 1.7 fluid ounce, and she runs for $20. So I think that she is very affordable, and you spend $20 and you already get a full size bottle, versus if you were to go with like a designer fragrance or a celebrity fragrance, $20 is gonna get you a travel size, right? So I think that she is good. I typically would say I probably get maybe 6 to 8 hours on her. Once again, I don't feel like any of my fragrances are really like extremely beast mode. I feel like they just kind of create a nice personal scent bubble, and people that enter my bubble can smell me, and then that's typically how I get compliments. I don't know if it's a strong walk by air, if that makes sense, but I do think that she is good. Stop by your nearest Target and go ahead and give Vanilla Bourbon a sniff. And even if you do not like Vanilla Bourbon, I do believe Mix Bar has so much diversity and so many fragrance options that you can definitely find something for you. I'm very confident in saying that you probably can find something that you like. Now, baby, while you down there at that Target smelling the Mix Bar fragrances, go ahead and smell you some finery. Now, I would definitely recommend Pistachio Please, especially for winter. Pistachio Please is definitely more sweet. There's a bit of that creaminess. You get a bit of that nuttiness, but it's still like slightly fresh. And she is good. Unfortunately, when I went to smell Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato, it did not respond well to me. Like, I sprayed it on the paper, sprayed it on my skin. It sat, and the more that it sat, it came up very sour on my skin. And I really don't know what that was about. I was very excited. Like, I had been to Sephora a few times trying to smell this fragrance, thinking like I'm gonna love it for sure. And when I finally was able to smell it and try it out, it did not respond well to me. I don't know what the issue was. I have other Kayali fragrances. I've tried other Kayali fragrances and never had that response. I really don't know what happened, but it did not respond well to me. So when I tried Pistachio Please, I was kind of nervous, but even on my nose and on my skin, this did everything that I thought Yum Pistachio Gelato was going to do for me, and it unfortunately did not. But I do get like my fix. So if you go down to Finery, this is the Eau de Parfum. This runs you for about $30. They do have the like fragrance mist that I believe runs for $20. I just go ahead and get the Eau de Parfum because you're gonna spend $10 more to get more of that fragrance power than if you were to get a fragrance mist. So I just typically just go ahead and get the Eau de Parfum, and she has not done me no wrong. I love her. I feel like she is not necessarily complex, but I do believe that she has a lot of elements that you can pull from. Like, you can lean into that creaminess. You can lean into that sweetness. You can lean into that nuttiness, right? Like, I feel like you can lean so much with this fragrance that she's really good. I wear her more during the day, and if I'm wearing her kind of just like by herself, I typically get probably 6 to 8 hours. If a good oil pairing, I can get probably a good 10 to 12 hours out of her. But she is good. She is so good. And I would definitely say give her a whirl. When I first got her, I was obsessed. I wore her probably every single day for a week straight. I kid you not, because she is just that good. I'm telling you, she's just that good. So next up we have Jimmy Choo I Want Choo, and she is good. She is a peach fragrance that is very fruity, but like don't think peach cobbler, sweet, juicy, hot, fresh out the oven peach cobbler. Do not think that. Think grown woman, I guess sitting by the beach eating a peach. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, she's definitely a grown woman enjoying a peach, but it's like she grown though. Like, don't forget, she's grown. It's a mature fragrance without being too mature, if that makes sense. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I feel. Like, when I put this on, to me, I like perk up. Like, I get very confident. I smell her. I feel grown and sexy. I feel like you can wear her during the day. I feel like you can wear her at night. I definitely think if you definitely want to try and spin her around the block for a day night, for sure, I think Babe would appreciate it. Even if you're going on a solo day night, or you going out with the girls, going out with the family, I think this is that girl. She is going to last, baby. Now, this full-size bottle is a 3.4, I believe, fluid ounce, but I got this as a gift. So it came in like a gift set. So it has the 3.4 and then the one, I don't know if it's a 1.0 or 1.7 fluid ounce. So it came with that. I got it as a gift this past Christmas. So I can't tell you how much it costs or where it got it from because they didn't tell me. So I can't even help you with that. But she is definitely grown girl approved. I also have a travel size, so this was one of those fragrances that I was like, I want to upgrade to a full-size bottle. It was on my list for upgrades, and she is so good. I know for a fact I definitely got like 12 plus hours out of her, and she was still lasting on my clothes. I got dressed on a Sunday morning about 9, and I got home, got in the shower about 9 that night, and I still smelled her. And even when I was going through to like sort clothes to go ahead and do laundry, still smelled her. She is that girl. Got compliments on compliments. Like, oh, you smell good. Like, you smell nice. What you wear? Jimmy Choo, I want you, baby. I would definitely encourage you. Put your nose on her. She is so good. I know typically you can find her at like Dillard's, Sephora, Ulta, probably like Macy's. I don't go in Macy's often, but I'm pretty sure you can probably find her at Macy's, JCPenney's. You can probably find her somewhere. But she is so good. I would definitely encourage, get your nose on her. Next up, we got the big girl, big dog, big homie right here. Okay. We got Valentino born in Roma. Donna born in Roma, however the proper name of it is. This is the original. And she is good, baby. She is good. She is good. She is good. I remember the first time I smelled her, and I was like, she is so good. Now, I was kind of torn because I was torn between, do I get the original or do I get the Coral Fantasy? And technically, I had got both. I had got both like travel sizes, but I definitely had her on my list for an upgrade because Coral Fantasy is more like sweet. She is more grown. She's boozy. She's warm. She is grown woman. She is definitely day or night. You can wear her. I definitely clear 10 plus hours with her. Easy. And I also had a little mini that I turned into like a fragrance body oil. So I layered them two together and baby. And I have the like perfume oil, fragrance oil roll-ons that I get from the hair store. Baby, you can easily go from day to night. Like, you can go from the boardroom to out to dinner, like clear easily. She's going to last. She's going to last on the skin. She's going to last on your clothes. She's going to last. She is that girl. She is that girl. She's that girl. I would definitely say she is definitely probably one of the more beast mode fragrances that I got. And she's definitely a compliment getter. She is good. I tell you, she is good. And last but not least, we have Crystal Noir by Versace. Now, I saved her for last. One, because she is probably my most, no, she probably is. She's probably my most complimented fragrance of life. When I put this on, I get compliments out the wazoo. I don't know what it is about this fragrance, but it is, I guess it's so alluring. Like, it's just that good. I believe she has like hints of like coconut, but she's like warm coconut. I think she has some vanilla in here. She's very warm. She is grown woman. Like, that woman that is grown, she in the boardroom, she handling business, she got on probably her Christian Louboutins, them red bottoms with that bad pants suit and a nice bag or briefcase. This is what she smelled like. She smells like Crystal Noir. She is, I'm telling you, she is that good. And this is, I would say she has even a pretty good sillage, because like even when I spray her and like I leave and I come back to my room, she lingers and she's good. Now, this is definitely one, I feel like this fragrance for sure creates a nice scent bubble. And when people are in close proximity and they go in to give me a hug, she gets the compliments. She is that girl. This fragrance to me is so beautiful. And it definitely was the first fragrance that really, I felt, expanded my sniffer. Because I smelled her, and I don't typically tend to like the intense flanker of fragrances. Especially at the time when I smelled her. I smelled her, probably close to 3 years ago. And I've had her for probably about that long. And when I first smelled her, I was like, oh, I like her. And I remember being torn, because I was torn between, do I get Crystal Noir or Bright Crystal? And I was like, Bright Crystal is more me. So I just went ahead and got Bright Crystal, because I was like, I don't got money to be spending to buy two. So I'm going to buy one. I'm going to treat myself and I'm going to buy one. And I bought Bright Crystal. But I could not get Crystal Noir out of my mind. Like, I was like, oh, she's so good. I'm like, okay, we're going to add her to the list, because I definitely need her. And she was definitely so different, but she's so warm. She kind of creamy, has a bit of that coconut note to it, and she's just grown. Like, you can wear her. I wear her day and night. Like, she is definitely a fragrance that I have worn spring, summer, fall, winter. It don't matter. I think that she probably would be sold or advertised as more of a winter fragrance, but I've worn her across seasons, and she's going to do it every single time. This is the 3.0 Fluid Out. I got this as a gift, but I know you can find her in like Sephora, Ulta, Dillard's. You can find her. And when I bought my Bright Crystal for like the same size, I bought it from Dillard's, and that was about $100. So that is kind of what I would tell you to kind of expect. But she is definitely that good. I would definitely say with this line, as well as with Valentino, any flanker in this line, I think you probably cannot go wrong with. So you have Crystal Noir, Bright Crystal Absolute, and Yellow Crystal, I believe, in the Versace line. I believe they're all good. You just kind of have to pick which one. And then Valentino got so much. You got the original, you have Coral Fantasy, you have Green Extravaganza, there's a pink PP out, there's a gold something. Like, you have the Intense. Like, you have so many options that I feel like for both of these, you cannot go wrong. You can definitely find a fragrance in either one of these lines that really tickles your fancy. That is all of the fragrances that we are going to highlight for this winter season. Fragrances can get very expensive very quickly, so do not feel like you need to break the bank to smell good. I definitely want to stress that. So always know that you can get discovery sets to try out different fragrances, and they'll come in like sometimes sample sizes. You can get little miniatures. You can get samples. You can get decants. You can get the travel sizes. You do not have to go break the bank to buy a full-size bottle. And I personally would not recommend it if you have not tried it and you know that you love it. Like, you sat with it, you tried it on your skin, you sat with it, and you know that you love it. I would not encourage you to buy a full-size bottle other than that. So you can find some really, really good options without having to break the bank. And most of the time, a lot of them fragrances are duping each other anyway. So just definitely keep that in mind. But that is all for today's video. Please sign up in the comments and tell me what are some of your fragrances that you are loving in this winter season. I hope to see you back here next week for another video, but until then, remember that I love you, God loves you, so remember to always, and I do mean always, love you too. Smooches, Lovebug.